One good way to meet someone is to give a sincere compliment. So I could say to Elizabeth, well, it's really great to meet you.
Me too.
And you have such bright eyes and a beautiful smile, and you look so coordinated, so business professional.
Yes, I am.
From what our class is doing. And what would you say? Remember, when I give you a compliment, you say,
Oh, thank you.
for noticing.
Thank you for noticing. I perpetuate that.
Right, and I would say, well, you're welcome. So in that example, you're finding something that is good about the person, you're making a compliment. I talked about her smile, her personality. I also talked about the way she was dressed. And then Elizabeth reciprocated by saying thank you to the compliments that I made. So that's one point in continuing with the conversations at social events. The other piece was that I didn't use negative comments. I did pick on some fault that she had, but it was a strength. So that falls into the next category, be positive. The third category, don't brag. We're going to do a little, show you a couple of examples to illustrate that. So the first example is an example of bragging.
I am such a great, healthy, fitness coordinator. Look what I can do.
All right, so that's the example of bragging, and this is the example
Of not bragging. I really enjoy being a health and fitness coordinator. I like telling athletes about how they can be healthy.
All right. So why were those two examples different? Why was one a positive, or excuse me, yeah, it's a positive example of bragging. Why was one an example of bragging and the other not? What was it about the conversation that was different? How did Elizabeth lead off with not that this means that you're bragging, but how did Elizabeth lead off with the bragging example? What was her first word?
Yes?
First word that came out of her mouth was I like to do.
Right,
I'm
very
good at this.
Yeah.
And
And then that the I was used, I think, another time, but so the focus went on Elizabeth and not on what? So for the second example, it shifted because she was talking about enjoying, so the direction went to what? What was the role that she likes to do in Special Olympics?
The healthy athlete coordinator.
Very good, thank you,
Thank
Winnie.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Wonderful, Winnie. I like that game.
yeah, that game was fun.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we joined the press. That's right. So those are examples of not bragging. And the last item, don't interrupt. We're going to do a little bit of a scenario with that. All right, so don't interrupt. And I'm going to read to you from the script. When someone else is talking, wait until they have finished their sentence.
Miss Porter, I need to.
What are you doing? I'm trying to talk to people about not interrupting, and what are you doing? Miss Porter, we're going impromptu now.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? So what are you doing?
Sorry, excuse me for interrupting.
Well, thank you, Ms. Porter. I know that you wouldn't do that, in a normal situation, but we were just trying to illustrate interrupting, right? Okay, so sometimes you will find yourself in a conversation and need to leave. If you do, excuse yourself and give a polite reason for leaving, such as, I apologize, I have an emergency right now and I must leave. Please excuse me. So sometimes a situation calls for you leaving a conversation. You just have to find a polite way to do that. So that's slide 22, and it's conversations at social events continue. We've talked about complimenting someone, being positive, not bragging, not interrupting. Are there any questions?
Well, could I add to the not bragging?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like, I've noticed sometimes, like, when in a conversation, the way you say things too, sometimes it sounds more powerful than you mean it to be, and it can hurt the person in the conversation.
Oh, okay.
Like, I know when my brother has a way of putting words in my mom's mouth and it doesn't come out from what my mom really says it to be. And you know, sometimes, like how you, the powerful voice you use to when you enforce it might sound like you're being mean when you don't mean to be.
Okay, so
The tone of
the
the
tone
voice.
of your voice, absolutely, that has so much to do with a conversation.
And that's where I think like people may look at that's negative, or compared to when you're more calmer doing it, then you sound more positive.
Especially if you say something like, and in this tone, I enjoy talking to you. Now, does that really convince you that I enjoy talking to you? No.
Exactly.
If I say, I really enjoy talking to you,
Exactly.
it's a world of difference.
Because I see that with my brother
Yeah,
in the mom thing in the family all the time.
Okay.
So I thought that would be a good way to
Yeah,
teach
very
that
good.
to this group.
Thank you for sharing that example. Don?
Also, yeah, you want to go? Or you want
It's up to you.
We'll go.
Well, one of the points I want to point out is one of the things I ran across sometimes is when you interrupt somebody, sometimes you miss out what that person's saying.
Oh, very good.
Because I mean, sometimes if someone's telling you something, like Elizabeth did, you were talking and then she interrupted you. What you probably had to say was probably something important that you had to tell her, but she doesn't know it because you got cut off, and then you have to go back and read.
Great. Absolutely. And excellent point. Thank you for adding that to this idea of not interrupting.
I was gonna say about the interrupting, they might not understand your speech, they might not, like, well, what's wrong with your speech, what are you trying to bring your point across? And you're in the speech and all of a sudden somebody's running up to the podium and interrupting you, you might lose your train of thought.
Right, exactly. So it's not polite, and so then you have to, catch yourself, or hopefully you catch yourself. If you don't, then hopefully someone points out, well, you might have been able to approach that situation in a better way. And then Elizabeth tried to, well, you did, sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I
if
kind
I
of
got
put
the
you in
value.
trouble. Well, okay. But she apologized, and sometimes as the point was being made that you do need to leave, but you just need to be able to do it in a polite manner. All right, any other comments or questions?
Yes, Kathy.
Okay, so, what if, I'm having a conversation with one other person and then the third person comes in? If I'm the one speaking, and I know this other person, what should I do? Should I just let them stand there, or?
Answer your question, no. And, if you say, excuse me, can I talk to you later when I'm at my conversation?
When I end my conversation?
Yeah, at my conversation, and you would say, I'll be right with you.
That,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Okay, those are two good options.
I'm interested in what maybe you're saying. Would you introduce me?
Yes,
If I don't know that other
absolutely.
person?
Sure.
So you could probably say to the person that you're speaking with, just a minute, I want to continue this conversation, but I'd also like to include
To the other.
Ms. Brown over here, Marcy Brown. Oh, no.
Um,
No, you'd like to include the other person in the conversation.
mhm.
Good points.
I'm not sure if this has anything to do with it, but another reason why you could be doing that is because if you wait till so-and-so stops talking, wait till they're done their conversation and then wait to see the person you want to see, that person may end up moving on to something else, and then, so, yeah, you're probably, or waiting to talk to them, or like if the two people are having a conversation, and if they stop for some reason, you could probably say something to the person you want to talk to, say, when you're done, I'd like to talk to you when you get a chance, because if you wait till the two people are done, the person you probably want to see will probably go do something else, and then
Right.
you'll probably lose train of thought.
Right, yeah, you make a good point. I think Kathy's pointing that out as well, that you want to make sure everyone feels important, and so find a way that's polite to make that transition, to possibly, well, to try to keep the conversation going, but just to stop it politely for a point, and then look to the other person, make that eye contact, and bring them in on the conversation.
And that way that person can
Right,
say,
so
"Oh, I'll
no
talk
one
to you."
is being excluded, and.
Right, so when that person says, "I'll talk to you in about 10 minutes, and then you go do something, and then the person probably wants to talk to you, they'll probably meet you over in the corner here, about 10 minutes when I'm done with this person, so they can talk, just that way they don't have to track the person down after they're done, because they could get into a conversation with somebody else, and then.
Correct, right, absolutely, you hit it. It's all about including everyone and making everyone feel important. All of these social tips are talking about that. So, great job. Any other comments? We'll move on to the next slide. So now we're going to move to the nonverbal tips. Oh, okay, so read it.
Non-verbal tips is not just what you say, but also how you present yourself. Non-verbal interactions are just as important as verbal interactions.
So why don't you read that last sentence again?
Non-verbal
Interactions
are just as important as verbal interaction.
Very good. We're going to do a little bit of role playing again to some degree. Oh, maybe we should. Can you folks see over here? I guess, can you see Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the slide is titled Nonverbal Interactions, and we're going to look at the first comment. Just see there and I'll. First one is to have good posture. And first, Elizabeth is going to illustrate sitting up straight. So when she sits down, she has good posture, and her back is straight, and her chin is up, and her hands are in her lap. She's not what would be the negative example of sitting straight. Hunched over, right, and your head is dropped, and then no eye contact. That wouldn't be good, because especially if you're having a conversation, you need to have eye contact with whoever is at your table. And then the next example of posture would be standing up straight. And the same things apply. Your hands are at your side, right? Your shoulders are back, your chin is up, very good. And you're looking straight ahead, you're making eye contact with all of these beautiful and handsome people. And the third example is walking. So why don't you start over here on this side and walk this way and then go back. So when you're walking, you're gonna walk with your walk with your head up, and your shoulders are back, and your arms are at your side, and you have a nice little, right, walk. No, that's good. So having good posture. So we've illustrated sitting up straight, standing up straight, and walking with a little bit of a, okay. And then the next one, number 2, eye contact. So when you're talking with someone, as Elizabeth and I were having a conversation, we weren't looking at each other's jewelry or their clothing, but we were looking into, into your eyes. Very good, thank you, Wendy. Winnie, sorry. And we weren't playing with our anything with our jewelry or anything like that. And then I also wasn't staring, and I hope you weren't staring at me. You weren't looking like this at each other, because that would be haunting, and especially when we're talking with you folks, that we don't want to stare at you, but we want to have eye contact, right, Elizabeth? And we want to span the audience. So we're going from left to right and right to left, and making sure that we're making you feel welcome. And that's what it's about as far as eye contact. And bright eyes are better than what? Not dull eyes. Okay, so eye contact. The next, so have good posture, eye contact. And the third one, we're going to go out to the center where everybody can see. So when you're in a conversation, this probably is too, we're in each other's